Hi, Marina. I'm really happy that you are here. I'm really happy that you agreed to come and discuss about 1 year in Romania. Because last year in March, you first came to this beautiful city called Bacau. How come you chose Bacau to come from Ukraine here?
Hi, thanks for invitation here. It's the first for me, for the first time, and thank you very much that you and other people want to know more about this story and to hear how it can be, how I is living here. Why Baku? I can't explain because one of my friend who came first and came for the second day of the war, he also didn't know about this city. And he just drove through Romania and decided to stay here. And this way we knew about this city and decided to come here.
I know that you came with two other girls and 6 children.
Yes.
You
It was
came-
hard a little.
You came to a city where you didn't know anybody.
Yes.
How was it? How did you find an apartment? How did you how was it possible to live here in the first days? Because I imagine the first days were the toughest.
It was very difficult, not only the first days, even 2 or 3 months,
Okay.
to realize where are you, what are you doing here, and what will be next. So we came here, and this guy I told you about before, he helped us. He helped with apartments, and we drove maybe 45 hours from the beginning from Ukraine till Bacau. So when we came, 6 or 7 people met us. It was dark already outside, and they met us and they helped us. They, as I remember, not good because I drove. I have a car, and all these 6 children with 3-person adults.
You're in the same car.
Yes, in the same car.
And you're the only one who had the
Yes,
driving license.
yes. So I was very tired, and as I remember, they were very kindness for us. They gave hug to us, to all of us, and I was shocked how we don't know each other. Why they are so lucky to us? It's okay, it's understandable, but
They were Romanians or
yes, all they were Romanian. And this guy, our friend, who
was from Ukraine?
yes, from Ukraine. So they met us, and we began to live together, all these 6 children with 3 girls.
How was the border crossing? You came through Moldavia?
Yes.
And how was the road? It was, I know in the first days, it was really hard, and
Really hard, really.
a lot of people were stuck in customs.
We left home at 7 o'clock in the morning and crossed abroad at 11 o'clock in the evening. And it's not far from our house, the abroad.
You came from Odessa.
Yes.
How far is Odessa from Moldavia?
3 hours of driving.
Okay.
To Chisinau.
Okay.
So when we drove to boat, and we saw a lot of cars, a big traffic jam. So we stayed there with children. It was cold, quite cold, and only at 11 o'clock in the evening we crossed it. And from the boat, it was 2 or 3 hours of driving to the city we stayed to sleep.
Okay. What made you leave? Why did you leave? What was the first thing that made you decide to leave Ukraine?
It's always hard to remember, to be honest. These days, this period, and so on. As all know, and all world know that the war began at 24th of February. And of course, we didn't know what to do. We were scared. We didn't realize what to do, what will be next. And we lived in the house with my friends because They have a basement, and it was. It seems it was a little bit safety for us. And after the events, maybe you remember, not remember, with Bucha and Kherson,
Yes.
terrible events, we decided to leave because it was scaring. What will be next? Maybe Odessa will be next. And my husband was at work, and I was alone.
I know your husband is a sailor.
Yes.
And he works in international.
Yes.
He was where he was at the start of the war.
When everything began, it was at night, early morning. We woke up by the terrible sounds of rockets. And we just lied in the bed and thought, what's happened? What is going on? What will be? Oh my God. And my husband that time was in Turkey, and he was coming home. Next day in the morning, he should be at home. So he called me and said, what is going on? My flight canceled.
It's been canceled, yeah.
What's going on? I said, and I was so shocked that I even didn't realize what to say to him. I said, it seems the war began. How it can be? Stop. It will be later a little bit. I'll call you later. So 1 hour passed, another hour passed, and he said that each flight they tried to move to Ukraine, all they were cancelled. And he told me, I'll come anyway, not without flights. I said, stop and stay there, because we don't know what will be next. Everything will be okay. Of course, it was terrible, because it was terrible to him, first of all, because he is not with us. We are along with children. So this way, we tried to keep with my friends together, because their husbands are with them. Yes, and you feel safety a little bit better.
But they couldn't leave. They had to stay in Ukraine, and only you, the girls, and the children left.
Yes.
So your husband was in Turkey.
Yes.
He left. He was staying in Turkey, and then you left with the children. But the husband
back to the ship to work.
He went back to work.
The company, yes, backed him to work.
And your friend's husband remained in Ukraine.
Yes.
So
they couldn't come.
So how was this for children?
We didn't know exactly how to say them, because
what ages were they?
From 5 till 10.
Okay.
5, 7, 6, 8, and 10. So it was hard to explain, because they are like children. They don't know what is this. They even didn't see this on TV before. So we said them that this happened and we don't know what will be next. And we explained them that it will be our little journey, and we will see how it can be. So we need to leave Ukraine, but not for a long time. We didn't expect it will be so long here by living.
Adi, poza cu mașina. We have a picture that you sent to us, and I think it's from...
Yes.
Where is this taken?
It's on the road to Chisinau. We were already across the boat, and we were driving to Chisinau.
I think they were tired.
Very tired.
And when you arrived here, how they felt the change, how they felt the city, how they felt they live in a different country. They couldn't go to school. They didn't have any friends here. How was it for them?
Maybe it was a little bit better for them to live together for the first time. So 6 children lived in one flat.
Ade poza cu masa. I think we have a picture from the... You sent us a picture.
Yes. This is the first day. So this way we had breakfasts. breakfasts, and each meal they ate together. And it was like a little kindergarten in our flat.
Okay. And after the first days, how they managed to feel this change? To be in a country with no school, with no friends, and basically couldn't understand with other people because they were not talking the language.
Yes, really, it was hard a little, but I can't say it was hard so much as we felt.
Okay.
So we felt harder because we adults always think about everything. But they, as we saw, they felt okay because we tried to walk with them all the time, all the days. We had some friends here. We met some friends here, new friends. So I think they felt well. But now the time passed and I see how it's difficult for them. So for me now it's easier, but for them difficult.
They managed to stay in school, in Ukrainian school with online lessons.
Yes.
I know that you told me that they're doing this kind of school. Is it helping them?
Yes, maybe because sometimes they don't. They have what to do. They don't sit just and they have some their schedule. Morning till the afternoon they have lesson. They have home tasks and so on. But also sport helps.
They go to do sports here?
Yes, the youngest one goes to the soccer, and sometime oldest went to the badminton.
Okay. And they have been well received?
Yes.
By the community?
It was very strange to me because I was nervous. Very easy. So they understand each other, even in English, not in English, because the coach from soccer, he is Romanian and he speaks only Romanian. So I see it's well going.
So they understand through the language of football?
Yes, I think yes.
Where did you have money to? I mean, how is it for money to buy food? Where did you have money to buy clothes? Because when you came in a car, you can only put a few things. How you managed to pay for everything that you needed to survive here?
You know, a lot of people helped us. It was really not strange, but it was hard to understand that people who don't know us, and they just know that we are Ukrainians, and they even gave in supermarket us money. It was so terrible, to be honest, to take, but children took always, and you helped us when we met you. A lot of things you do, and other people, Romanian, who know that Ukrainians are here in this flat, and they bought a lot of food. Always there was everything to eat, everything. And about even clothes, a lot of clothes gave us our neighbors, new clothes for boys. They saw the age and gave us packets with clothes. So this way it was not hard. Really.
Okay, so you managed to find everything that you needed for...
Yes, and a lot of organizations, United Nations and other, they also gave some money for being for the first time. So it was normal, okay.
What was your job back in Ukraine? What did you do before the war?
I worked as a state salesman. So I sold houses, flats, and so on.
You're a real estate agent?
Yes.
And you're a mother of 2 children, and your husband was a sailor?
Yes.
That was your life before the war?
Yes.
How's your life now?
Oh, I tried not to work half a year, but then me is me. I always want to do something. And I met some people who gave me a proposition to work. I thought, because it was hard, I understood that husband leave soon and I will be alone with children, how it can be. But I decided to try.
So your husband works for 3 months, then he comes back
4 or 5.
4 or 5 months,
And then he back to 2-3 months and again.
and after that he goes away.
Yes.
But he comes and stay with you in Romania.
Yes.
And you managed to find a job here doing what?
I'm doing good things. I'm helping Ukrainian who lives here in Bacau, and I consult them. I give them medical help. I help them with clothes, some questions. They always have a lot of questions.
So you work as a support for the integration of Ukraine.
Yes.
And FSC hired you.
Yes.
So you work for FSC.
Yes.
That's really nice. Do you like it here?
Really, yes.
Would you see yourself staying here until the war is over, or do you want to go back? I know it's a difficult question.
Very difficult question, but I want to go back, but I don't know how it will be even in 1 month there. So I decided to think that I live now and here, and I'm doing my life here, not to sit just and to wait.
Are you afraid to go back?
Yes. We're always afraid what will be next and soon.
Do you see yourself staying here for the long time?
Maybe, yes.
Have you ever considered that maybe this move could be permanent? And
yes, I thought about this a lot, and I think maybe this way can change my life. Maybe this way can give me more than in Ukraine. But it's still hard. 1 year pass, and it's still hard to realize to stay somewhere not in your country. When you love your city, your country, even if you realize what's happening there, it's hard. Maybe one day I'll wake up and think, oh, it's okay, I'll stay here for all my life.
Let's see some pictures from Odessa before the war. Adi, one second. Avem o poză, Adi, pe doc, cu familia pe doc. Dacă o vezi tu, la Marea Neagră. So,
it's my parents.
The grandfather and grandmother of the children.
Yes.
Okay. Where is this picture taken?
It's near the sea, Arcadia Beach. Maybe you have heard about it before, because it's...
it's the Black Sea.
Yes, it's the Black Sea.
So you'll change only the country, not the Black Sea. Hai să mai vedem și cealaltă de mai sus, cu familia. This one. This is your husband?
Yes, this is my husband, and this picture were taken near the seaport. Also on the main in Odessa, yeah.
How's the city now in Odessa? Is it a working city? Are people?
Yes, working, but hard working.
But the people, the city is closed, or it functions as normal?
All open and function.
Okay. Mai avem o poză tot așa cu un peisaj, Adi. What's this?
This is the park, one of the main parks of the city, Park Shevchenka.
It looks beautiful.
Yes, and this is the main part of this park. This is a monument with a fire who is there always, by the memory of some soldiers who died in the war, the Second War.
I think we have one more. Cred că mai avem una și terminăm pachetul ăsta din Odessa.
This is the main theater, the opera theater, which is also one of the most beautiful theaters of the world. So it's our best thing you can see in Odessa.
It looks like it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I've never been to Odessa, but I want to visit after the war. I want to visit Ukraine.
Yes.
I want to visit some
I'll
places
show you a lot of places beautiful after the war stopped.
Do you miss the city? Do you miss
Really
your family?
very much, yes. I didn't realize and expect it. I can miss it so much because when you live and everything is okay, you live near the sea, it's okay near the sea. You can come there each day and smell this air. But now, when you live far from there, it's really hard.
Okay, so do you miss the sea?
Very much.
Okay. What do you like in Bacău?
I like your nature. You really have great views, mountains, and nature is very good. We drove a lot of places, visited, and it was really great. We just stay in oh my God, it's so great. It's so beautiful. We also visited some castles. So we have castles, but not so much as you. And we really also liked it. We visited old city Brasov, and it looks like our also old city Lvov. It's very similar.
You've sent me a picture from Yash. I know you've been to Yash, but I haven't sent.
And also, yes, I've been to.
And I know I already know that you've been to Bran, to
yes,
Dracula Castle.
Yes.
So you visited Brasov, you visited Yash. What other cities have you been to? Bucharest?
Bucharest, yes, and that's maybe all.
From all the cities in Romania, it's strange for me that you stopped in Bacău. Because we're not a big...
For me, I had some questions from my friends. I said, it's okay. We have some little company of our friends because if you feel you like at home with your people, you will not go to another city and live there. You feel this here comfortable because here there is everything you need. You need some cafes, you have them. You need mall, center, you also have it. You need cinema, you also have it. So what more?
Most of the people from Ukraine were just passing through Bacau.
Mm-hmm.
I think very few have established themselves here. Mostly they went to Bucharest, they went to Cluj, to Timișoara, and of course 80%, 90% of them just crossed the border to go to Poland, to West Europe. Wasn't it better for you to go to a different country, maybe a more evolved, developed country?
I also thought about this when I come. The first 3 months, it was like a shock for us, for all of us. And I had some thoughts, maybe I need to go somewhere far. But I was scared, to be honest. What we felt this period of time, I didn't want to move again and again and again. It was okay for me here. So I decided to stay.
Most of the people who went to Poland, went to Germany, France, do you think they will be back in Ukraine? Or do you think they will stay there?
I think some of them will back or already backed. I know such people. And some of them will stay. Because, you know, when people don't have maybe their favorite job or some things to do, useful things that they do, and they don't want to change them, they will not move. But some of them decided to do this. It's okay. It's their choice, and who knows?
I know it's hard to make a comparison, but is your standard of living better here than was in Ukraine before the war? Or it's the same?
I think it's not the same, because always better at home than somewhere else.
Okay,
maybe
better with family and friends, but I mean, from a financial point of view, is it better here, or was it better in Ukraine before the war?
I think it was better before the war in Ukraine.
I'm asking you this because there are a lot of fake news that are circling Romania, and I know it's a lot of Russian propaganda. They're saying that most of the Ukrainians who came here are really rich.
It's true.
It's true?
Yes. Because
How come?
it's very easy, or maybe not hard, to open some business, to take some money in Ukraine. Even all we know about corruption, it's okay. But even with this, all people earn money and have money. So it's not hard there. And we have a lot of creative people, and you can do anything you want. If you come to Odessa, to Kyiv, some cities, there are development. So it's really true.
So most of the people who left Ukraine are rich people.
Not most. A lot of poor people we also have, you know.
Okay.
So it's even better to understand we have very rich people,
Okay.
and we also have very poor people. So I can't say a lot of. I know we have them rich people.
But there is this Russian propaganda that it's saying that Ukrainians are somehow they benefit from this help, that this humanitarian help, even if they don't need it.
Sometimes it's true. I also see this. I think it depends of people, and it can be in any country, not only in Ukraine. I also saw this when I began to communicate with Ukrainians, but again, it's their choice.
Can you give me an example?
For example, I also saw that they don't need some humanitarian help, but they take it. And also I have a lot of examples that people don't have and they don't ask. And I see this and said, take, please, you will need it.
So you're saying that there are a lot of people who are afraid to ask what they need?
Not a lot of, but some of them are shy, and they don't want to disturb and so on. So when I talk to people, I know them. I try to talk to know them better, what they need, how are things with their families in Ukraine, how are things here, and everything is seen for me.
So if you have the possibility to make like a statistic, how many Ukrainians need help and how many don't need help?
It's hard to answer. Not many don't need help. Maybe 5%.
Don't need help.
Yes.
And the rest of 95%.
Yes.
So this Russian propaganda who says that all the Ukrainians or most of the Ukrainians are really rich, why do you think this is happening? Why do you think that this is so much hateful information presented in mainstream media and on social networks about the immigrants that came from Ukraine?
I think I also have heard about this and saw some movies, some topics. I think some people can't be normal people somewhere else. They are not normal in their country and also not normal in another country. It's okay because people are different.
Yes.
And maybe this way it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not about all people. It's just for some, and that's why it began to all people. No, I don't know why, because I'm another person and I will not do this like you told about these people.
I understand that everyone has, and I think it's not about Ukraine or other population. Everybody have people that will try to take advantage of a situation, but they're not the majority, and they're not so many as being portrayed in the media. That's for sure.
I don't know. I can understand people who living in another countries and they see a lot of Ukrainians and it's also hard for them. They can't maybe understand why the government need to give some money, a lot of money. They can't understand why they came. A lot of city, everything is okay there. Come back and live there. Again, it depends on the person. I haven't heard Romanian people talking about this.
But I have.
Yes, it's okay, but
as the war proceeded and the time has passed, more and more hateful information is appearing on the mainstream media, on social networks. If in the first 3-4 months there was a encouraging current of helpness to the Ukrainian people, most of the public talk have changed. And I think people are tired. And I think people don't realize that people die every day fighting a few 100 kilometers away. I don't think that we realize what a war is. We only saw it on TV. And I think people are tired of war.
yes, I agree with you.
Are tired.
All people, and Ukrainians and not Ukrainians.
Every day, the same news, the same. It's very hard to be to remain focused and to be concentrated on the things that are really needed as humanitarian help. I think the population grew tired after the first 6, 7, 8 months. I think now that a year has passed, I mean, more than a year has passed. A year has passed since you came to Romania. I think the people see this war as something normal. It's something that they got used with. Not so many people are coming from Ukraine. It's somewhere established, a number, and they just simply ignore it. Or maybe not completely ignore it, but it's not a top priority anymore.
Maybe you are right. Because we are tired about thinking about this, what will be, what will happen next, what will be in 1, 2, 3 months. And I think all Ukrainians, or maybe most of them, try to live by their lives where they are staying, in each country they are staying. And about help, yes, it was more help. Now less, but a lot of phones try to help again and again and again, because they understand that it's really hard to live in another city. But I know also a lot of people who work and try to live usual life.
Are many Ukrainians, or from the Ukrainians that you know here, how many of them got jobs?
Maybe 3 or 4.
Why is that? Why is that? Why so few?
I don't know. I don't have an answer on this question, because I know people who asked about job and they had a job, maybe some short job for 1-2 months. Another one have some goals and they also asked me about job and I helped them. They have a job and they try to travel around. They are elderly people. But another one, a lot of them have small children. I think it's the main reason, because it's hard to live a child in the kindergarten because they are from 3, it seems, years old, and a lot of them have less than 3 years. But another one, it's really hard. On my mind, they are a little bit lazy.
Okay. And if they have the financial help to live without a job, they will not take a job.
I think, but I had a financial help, and I think it depends of a person. Maybe they have their husband, have job and they don't need it, because a lot of husbands live in Ukraine and still work and have money and send them. So
It's another difficult subject here. How about the men that are here? How they arrive?
men try to find a job, really.
No, but I mean, how this? There's a lot of men that also came from Ukraine. How is that possible?
I know the men only who are also like my husband, a salesman, and they were not in Ukraine in that moment.
Okay.
And I know some elderly people who just can cross abroad. And I know another people who just left by occupation territories. So they can come, cross abroad. 1 or 2 men, they cross through the Russia because they didn't have another choice. So they also can cross abroad another way, not Ukrainian abroad.
There is this, again, this information that there are people who bribed the customs and they came to Romania without respecting the martial law.
Of course, there are such people. It's our corruption.
So there are people who cross the border this way.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about them when they go at some point.
I don't know if I can say this. Yeah.
They would have to go back. How the rest of the band will
It's
receive
okay.
them?
By the way, it's okay. I know one person who backed, and it's okay. No questions.
That's strange for me.
For me too.
I would have imagined that going back would be.
We also thought so, but I know one person who did the same, and it's okay.
Okay.
A lot of strange things.
Okay. What else? Do you say there are a lot of strange things? What else do you find it strange?
It was always strange. There were always some strange things in our politics, in our politics. So it's hard for me to say because I don't know exactly. And I didn't try to know about this more. I know one thing's in Ukraine, maybe in another cities also. So if you want to do something, you can do this, anything.
Okay. There's a lot of discussion about that you don't want to end the war because you're not ready to renounce to Crimea. A lot of people saying that you should renounce Crimea, acknowledge that Crimea is Russian territory, and then the war would be over. Is it true that?
I don't think so, because Crimea was taken
2014.
Yes, and it was just taken, and that's all. How it can be in real life? Why? Because before it was like Ukrainian territory, and all we know that is not poor territory. So I don't know. For me, it maybe even it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people who love Crimea, and there is really nice nature, sea, nature, rest, and so on. And a lot of us have relatives there. But it doesn't matter how it can be. We want just a war to stop. I know that it will be hard to stop it. not to stop, just to bomb Ukraine if Crimea will be Russian territory.
So you're saying that it would be okay for Crimea to be a Russian territory if the war stops?
I said that it will be hard to stop everything if Crimea will be Russian. But of course, we all would like to back it. Really. But we can't do something. We can just think and believe in something more.
What do you think about Zelensky? Is it a true hero, or is it...
I can't say. I hear a lot of things about a hero. For me, he is not a hero, just a hero. He is human.
Okay.
He is a good man. And nobody of us realizes that he can be a president. I can say, even without these events that is now happening. I know that we had president before who just left. And I know if he didn't leave Ukraine, he is a good president. Because I know and heard a lot of things that he got propositions to leave from the first days and even before. And he didn't do this. I think he's a clever and good man.
Do you think, by the way, he's putting pressure over the other countries, over the European Union and the USA, always asking for more guns, always asking for more support? Do you think it's a good thing to do, or do you think in the long run it's something that will hurt Ukraine?
By Zelensky, yeah?
Yes.
I think we didn't have another way because we need this support.
Yes. But
And
you can ask it without putting pressure.
Maybe.
Or not?
Maybe.
Okay.
But if you're right, I understand what you mean. But if you don't have such things happening in your country, you don't think about this. Maybe, I don't know. But what happened? We didn't have another way to take some help, a lot of help from other countries. Anyway, we didn't know even that our army can be so good.
I think your boy wants to say something. He called you. It's okay?
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I realize that it's a difficult situation. It's a very difficult situation. And we cannot imagine being through this situation like this. I mean, the last time Romania was at war was in the Second World War. And very, very few people are left alive to tell stories about that period. And I'm sure the kind of war that is going now, it's a totally different war. And we cannot imagine how it is to pass through a moment like this. But then wasn't simple just to try to make a peace agreement, and maybe all of this could be avoided?
I think it's impossible because all we thought about this the first 2 months. But when almost each of us has some friends or people whom we know who died in this war, and a lot of children and a lot of bombs which came through the houses, many flat houses. So it's difficult to understand that this man, this country can be can have some peace agreement. And a lot of Ukrainians think that it's impossible.
When do you think the war will end?
I want tomorrow.
Okay, if it's possible today. When do you think it will be over?
A lot of people tell about this spring, the end of the spring, and the beginning of summer.
I think they're too optimistic.
They are all optimistic, but a lot of soldiers who have some information told about everything will be okay soon. When soon? Nobody knows. They have some positions, they talk about it, about them, and they are very optimistic.
Do you think that Russia is preparing a counteroffensive this spring to regain the territories? Or do you think that Ukraine will be pushing...
I think the second way you told.
That Ukraine will be pushing further away?
Because Russia always try to do something, but...
And do you think that if they manage to push the Russians out of the territory, it will be over?
I think maybe yes. But first of all, we need to take our territories back.
And after you take the territories
it's very
back,
difficult. I understand how it's difficult.
What's keeping Russians from not attacking you from outside?
I think always we will have some feeling that it can be again. I realize this. And first of all, we need to do this, and there. I think they have a plan. Ukraine has a plan.
Okay. If you thought about staying here on the long term, is it possible to make that transition? I mean, go for the children to go to Romanian school and so on, and make this move permanent?
I think yes. All information in our head, how we will think and what we will do. It depends on us.
Okay, but have you asked the children what they want to do?
Yes, they want to back to Ukraine, to Odessa.
Okay.
To their friends, to their cat, which are staying in Odessa, to their usual life. I said, why? It's also usual life for you here. But they said, we miss. I think this is a hard period, maybe. Maybe later a little bit they will be okay here.
And your husband, what's he saying?
He's saying, I'm okay if you are okay. If you are here, I can live in any country.
Okay.
He is more easier with this than me.
I have two more questions. Let's say the war is over. Let's say you can go back to Ukraine. What do you think will happen next?
Of course, I think it will be hard because all territories should be reconstructed. But I hope that what I see now in my city, not all cities in other, because in other cities has a different situation. Yes. Everything will be okay. I hope this. It will be hard, and I was in Ukraine and talked to people, and I see that they understand this. It will be hard for some time, but then you will live in your country, in Ukraine, and you will have what you want.
After the war is over, and when you go back, if you want to go back, would you like for your children to live in a country that is reconstructing, or do you want your children to live in a country more better established?
I think if I decide to move to Ukraine again, I'll give them a chance to have a choice when they become adult. Maybe 9, 10 classes, maybe 18 years, they always have a chance to get an education in another country.
Okay.
But if I decide to back to Ukraine, they will be with me.
Okay. Marina, do you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I told about a lot of things today.
If you want to say something, anything that perhaps I didn't ask you, or if you want to.
As you see, all we are optimistic, really optimistic,
Yes.
and we believe that everything will stop soon. We want to, like we see the photos with you, we want to walk along and don't think everything will happen soon. So it's our life now, and it's our normal life now here. And I see a lot of Ukrainians live not bad. And I hope we will live better even if it was before the war.
I appreciate very much the fact that you came here and you told us a part of the story. I really admire you for the strengthness that you had, taking care of the children, moving the children from one country to another, crossing the borders and coming here. I know it was not easy. I know it was not easy to settle in. I know that every day that you live away from your family because your parents are there,
Mm-hmm.
when you live away from your husband because your husband is away, of course. I know how hard it was for you and for the other girls. And I truly respect your power to be a winner and
Thanks.
to make life work. Because at the end, this is what matters, to make it work. I don't think it's important, of course, but I don't think we're meant to be strictly in a country or another, in a city or another. I think the most important thing to do is to make life work.
Yes, I agree
Even
with
if
you.
it's war, even if it's peace.
Mm-hmm.
And you managed to do this for a whole year, and it's not over yet.
Thank you very much.
I wish you best of luck, and hopefully after the war, we can see each other
You
in
can
Odessa.
visit Odessa, yes, and I will show
and
you.
we'll talk more in Odessa after the war.
Yes.
And remember all these hard times that we're
Yes,
passing through. Thank
I
you very
agree.
much.
Thank you very much too.